What is up? Welcome to your day. We are going to focus. My name is Mandy Milla. My background is exercise science and helping people feel good. This is one of my favorite things. Anyway, let me wet my palate, and then I'm going to get today what we are going to focus on are biceps and triceps. So I'm going to show you 3 different bicep moves that you can do with dumbbells, soup can, whatever you want, water bottles. And then I'm also going to show you today, I had a request specifically for dips. So I'm going to show you how to properly perform a dip with a couple of modifications and then one additional tricep exercise for people that might have some issues with their shoulders and still want to do some tricep exercises. Tricep exercises are so important. We have a tendency to overwork our bicep because we don't walk around carrying things like this, right? So when we walk, we're not carrying like this, we're carrying like this. So our biceps tend to get much stronger than our triceps, and that is not always a good thing because it can lead to shoulder and elbow injuries because we're gonna be too strong here and not strong enough here. So we wanna try to keep these muscles as close to the same strength as possible. A really good way to check that is, can you do close to or the same amount of weight with tricep exercises, especially like if we're doing a tricep extension, as we can with a bicep curl. And if we can't, then we know that we really need to make sure that we're focusing on making our triceps stronger to help us avoid those shoulder injuries and potential elbow injuries because of the imbalance in the way that will throw things off. So first, let me show you a couple of bicep exercises. I'm going to show you 3. First is just a traditional bicep. So I'm going to show you the regular, like the straight up, just a form for a bicep curl, a way to really dial in and make sure that you're doing it right and getting the focus on the bicep muscle where you want it. Then I'm going to show you 2 other bicep moves. One is a hammer curl and then a W curl. And then I'm also going to show you some ways that you can just like make it a little bit more difficult, kick it up a notch or take it down a notch. So first you need to grab some weights. And you can do this with a dumbbell or you could do it with plates also. So a straight up bicep curl, I'm going to show you from the front and then I'm going to show you from the side. So I have my weight distributed evenly between my legs. My arms are at my side, my elbows are at my side. So what I want you to think about is your elbows, see how they're lined up with my midline here? So they're not forward and they're not back. So when I curl the bicep, see how my elbows stay right in line with the middle of me? And I stop here. I don't come all the way up so that my elbows shift forward because I want to keep it in my bicep. So my bicep curl is right here. And then guess what, guys? We say it all the time. Brace your core. So I don't want this. I don't want this. I want your core nice braced and solid so that you're not swinging. When you start doing this, the weight's too heavy and or you're just not getting that form nailed down. So you need to be able to stay still. Now, if this gets hard or you're in it, but you want to finish your reps without swinging, you can do that little kickback that we've talked about before. So add the kickback, keeping those elbows right at your side and not letting the weight come up too high. Now, with any of the bicep moves I'm going to show you, you can do these modifications. Essentially, these aren't modifications. These are a way to kick it up a notch. So you could do a bottom half, a full range, and then a top half. Or you could just live in the bottom half or live in the top half, right? And just stop at that 90 degrees, just like that. Boom, boom. So that's just a straight up traditional bicep curl. Again, making sure we keep the shoulders up, back, and down. So we don't want them rolling forward and coming down. We want them nice and neutral position. So now for a hammer curl, same thing. Elbows are gonna stay right at our side, but now notice my palms are facing in. And I'm just going to curl right up. What's nice about a hammer curl is that the dumbbell tends to stop me right here at the top of the move. Again, my core is braced so that I'm not rocking back and forth. And we can do the same thing with a hammer curl to kick it up a notch. So bottom half curls, just like this. Top half curls. And then any kind of way you want to add some variety to that. Now a W curl, a lot of times because you're changing the angle of the levers, sometimes you might need to go a little lighter when you do a W curl, but essentially what happens is you look like a W. So you put your hands out to the side, your elbows are at your side. Now on any bicep curl, we're not digging our elbows in, they're just at our our sides. And then we're just gonna curl up just like this. So if you'll notice here, I'm not going straight forward, and I'm not here, I'm here. And so if you look at me, I'm like a W. There's the other side. So that's the W curl. Same thing on that one. You can do the bottom half or the top half or some variation of that. Now for people that are having a little bit more difficulty with bicep curls, they can hold one dumbbell in their hands and just focus here so that they're doing it with some weight but lighter weight, and it's not unilateral, it's bilateral, so both arms are working together. They could also just do it with cans or water bottles, or in general, as if we're just trying to work on that range of motion, just really squeezing and making sure that we're feeling the muscle and just using body weight. There's never ever going to be a problem with using body weight. Another way that we could vary it is by holding a band. I actually have a band. So another way that we could vary it is by holding a band. So holding the band down, and then we're just bicep curling the band, right? So that's another way that we can vary that move. And I'll actually pull this back out and show you this with triceps too. But first now I'm gonna show you tricep dips. So when we do dips, there's a lot of potential to injure your shoulders on dips. So I really wanna make sure that we take some time to talk about form. So when we do dips, I'm gonna jump on this bench back here, that one. And the big thing with dips is we want our shoulders to be back, our chest to be open, and our shoulders to be down away from our ears, and our arms are behind us. So I don't want your shoulders up here, I want them down here. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna show you a few different ways to vary this. Always, lesser range of motion is going to make it a little bit easier. So if we're working with somebody that just doesn't have the strength yet, one of the easiest ways to modify will be to just lessen the range of motion while they're building up that strength there. Now, I'm gonna start from the easiest position and then show you how to make it progressively more difficult. So again, my hands, so I'm gonna start here with my hips close to the bench so that essentially like my back is right near the bench, my elbows are pointing behind me, my shoulders are back and down. So I'm sitting up nice and tall, and then I'm just gonna make my elbows go straight back. Now with my feet right here closer to me, this is me having to carry a whole lot less of my body weight, but still being able to do a dip. We do not want to go past 90 degrees. Now, the further away that I take my feet, the more difficult the move becomes, right? And then from here, even I can stack my feet to make it a little more difficult. So that's a few modifications there for a tricep dip. Now, if we cannot support our body weight, but we need to make sure that people are working their triceps, you can do tricep kickbacks. So you would just grab a lighter weight, elbow and shoulder are one nice long line. My core, just like they should, I should have said it over there and I didn't, but you assumed it, right? Core is braced. So my core is braced, I have a small bend in my knees. If I need to, I can use my hands to support myself. My elbow is up, and I'm just gonna extend my arms straight back and bring it back in. Notice my shoulder is not the one doing the work. So if we see them like leaning and doing a lot of rotation stuff, we need to do lighter weight because they should be able to hold this form, almost have a little window right here, see? And then we extend it straight back. Stop at 90, straight back. So this is the form for the tricep extension. Lighter weight, the better it is gonna be for them. Now, another move that we can do, and you can do this with a dumbbell. Well, here, I'll show you the dumbbell first. So there's two ways they can do this. Again, if they have issues with their shoulder, this sometimes also will be difficult. So bringing the dumbbell in here, elbows in nice and tight, and then just extending it straight up, keeping the elbows in, and extending that way. Now, so that would be just an overhead tricep press. Another way that we could do it here is we hold the band up by our chest, and so they don't even need weight, right? And they're gonna get resistance going both directions. And then we can do the same thing here, where we hold the band back here, get a good grip, and then they just extend the band overhead so that they're getting a tricep. Oh, I was too close. So then they just extend the band overhead like this, keeping the elbow in and working the tricep that way. So those are a few different ways for people that maybe can't do a tricep dip yet, but do need to work their triceps. Another way that you can, here, there's one more. I have so many, oh my gosh, I have so many I can show you. So another one that you could do here, this is another way to do tricep extensions. Again, this is a really good way to do it. The lighter the band, the easier the resistance. I need to work my other arm some. And then this way, they're definitely going to be able to stay out of their shoulder a little bit more. So if they're having issues with their shoulder, they're just going to push straight down, stopping at 90 degrees. Push straight down, brace the core, stand up nice and tall, elbow at your side. That's pretty much the gist. Biceps, triceps. Let's crush it, you guys. Go out there. Do amazing things. You can do it.